Hi everybody, and we've come into the seventh day of our little sermon on the Passion Week of Jesus, and there's a particular day of the week, and it doesn't get much. I guess it gets neglected, and that's Saturday. So what do you call Saturday that falls between Good Friday and Easter Resurrection Sunday? You know, what is significant about it? Does it have a special, I guess, a special name? It's really Holy Saturday, or the Sabbath, as is generically called. It seems to be basically a verbal bridge between Good Friday and Easter Sunday, and the biblical account denotes only one verse to it. Not a single gospel writer records a meaningful event that took place on what we may call the Holy Saturday. In many ways, Saturday should be a really exciting day. It should be a really a big day in the church agenda. But for a lot of us, it's an opportunity to wash the car or to do a little bit of shopping. We're going to go out to DFO because we need to get something. But I remember the pandemic in COVID in 2020, and we were basically shut from March to July. And grandkids used to come over, and we used to go to a skate park. And we would take them skating to this skate park on scooters, not skating itself. So we'd go and we'd skate for hours, and it used to be a lot of fun. But all the parks and everything shut, and it was quite disappointing. But then we had heard the news that the skate park was opening. And you know what day it was opening? It was a Saturday. So I think there was a song by Elton John, and we'd say, hey, when's the skate park open? And we'd say, Saturday, Saturday, it's Saturday. Saturday's all right for me. And it was so exciting that it was going to be open on Saturday, and then we would go skating and we would have fun. But when you look at the biblical account of what happened on Saturday, the untrained eye, nothing at all. If we were to go to the tomb outside of Jerusalem at the crack of dawn on Saturday, we would observe a little significance. The body of the recently crucified Jesus Christ would be on a slab in a tomb, bloodied, discoloured, and rigor mortis would be sitting in. It would be a real hideous sight if we could see it. But we can't. Thank goodness we can't, because it's behind this sealed boulder that plugs the entrance. But in heaven above and on the earth below, far from our human senses, there's enough activity to change eternity. I want to read from 1 Peter 3:18-20. For Jesus also suffered once for sins, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God. He was put to death in the body, but made alive in the spirit. After being made alive, he went and made proclamation to the imprisoned spirits, to those who were disobedient long ago, when God waited patiently in the days of Noah while the ark was being built. In it, only a few people, 8 in all, were saved through water. On that Saturday, that Easter Saturday, you could just feel the atmosphere. Demons are raging. Some are shrieking in fear. Satan's been stripped of all authority and all power. Christ has opened up paradise, ushering both the thief who died by him on the cross, and all those who had believed in the coming Messiah through the ages. The angels of heaven are rejoicing that the dead man's father no longer has his back turned toward his son. There's a sense that there's a celebration, and it's about to erupt at any moment. That's why Saturday is so important, and it should be important in the church calendar. Yet back in Jerusalem, on the surface of the planet Earth, business as usual. If you were to stop the typical person on the street and ask them about the excitement on what happened on Friday afternoon, and inquire about the execution of yesterday, that's Friday, the individual will probably say, oh, look, it's Saturday, it's finished. To them, it's much like our world 2,000 years later. The fat lady sung the entire episode in history. It's finished, it's kaput, over with. It's concluded and it's buried. If you don't believe me, go ask a large man, the one who's sobbing over by a wall. His name's Simon Peter. A short time ago, in fact only 48 hours earlier, he never would have believed that it would come to this. Others will deny you, he told them. He told his master, but I never will. Yet Simon did deny the Lord. Not once, not twice, but thrice. Simon, probably still hearing the rooster crowing. He can still see Jesus turning his bloodied face, looking at him over his shoulders, looking at him through his eyes, I told you so. I told you, but you wouldn't listen. Peter, he's probably convulsing, he's probably full of grief and he's full of anguish, but no tears can come from his eyes any longer. There's no more tears to spill. He's all cried out. What do we call Peter? The rock, Petra. Upon which Jesus said he would build his church. He's all washed up. It's Saturday and it's finished for Peter. Peter thinks that. The rooster crows again in the backyard of Caiaphas, a high priest who was there too. Probably the same rooster that Peter heard like that night. But the cock-a-doodle-doo of that rooster means something different to Caiaphas than it actually did to Peter. So Caiaphas is probably thinking, and he rises out of bed. Finally, I've rid myself of that charlatan. I have rid myself of that Jesus. For 3 years this guy has been a thorn in my side. For days I've plotted and schemed to get rid of him. And now it's Saturday. What a glorious morning it is. It's finished. So Caiaphas gazes out, and he's probably looking at in the corner where he tore his priestly garments. Granted, it was against the Levitical law to rip them, but a nice theatrical touch. Maybe it had been a touch which had pushed the rest of the Sanhedrin in voting with him in favour of the death of this messianic pretender, this Jesus. And Caiaphas is thinking to himself, it's Saturday, it's done with, I can rest. Up on a tree, up on a hill, in the fortress, Pilate he's probably washing his hands for the umpteenth time since yesterday. His hands are chafed, they're red, they're rough from rubbing, they look clean, he mutters, but they feel so dirty. What's on them, he asks himself. They feel sticky, it feels like blood, but it can't be, that's ridiculous. Pilate's wife, still sleeping. Even though it's mid-morning on a Saturday, she usually doesn't sleep in. She's a type A personality, but she hasn't been sleeping well today. The last several days have been fraught with terrible dreams and nightmares. In one strange vision, she seemed to she'd seen the prisoner that Pilate had condemned to death. She'd come to her husband. She warned him hysterically not to have anything to do with this guy. And now it's all over. The guards had brought Pilate the news that the lunatic, the one who thought he was some kind of messiah, he was a king, the one who wouldn't even defend himself before him, had died quickly. Some of the Sanhedrin had come afterwards really fast, asking for guards to be placed around the tomb. Let his body be stolen. These Jews, they're such a strange bunch. Pilate is probably thinking, why can't I put this thing to rest? Why can't I get this sticky stuff off my hands? It's Saturday and it's all over. Outside the city gates, someone's out for their Sabbath walk, comes across a hideous sight. A corpse dangles by its neck in the olive tree. Flies have begun to gather for the feast. Below the swinging lifeless form lie 30 pieces of silver. Those who would later investigate the death rule it as suicide, and are later going to discover that this guy's name is Judas. What would have been his last thoughts as he tied the knot? I guess we'll never know this side of glory. And it's Saturday and it's finished for Judas. In a tiny house outside the city walls, there's a woman, she cries. She had high expectations for her son. When he had been dedicated at the temple some 33 years before, an old man warned her, said, "This child is destined for the fall and rising of many in Israel. He will cause you great pain. It will be as though a sword is piercing through your very soul before it is all over." Now she finally knows what this old guy's talking about. It feels to her though hot coal is burning inside her. She's writhing in agony. The hurt is greater than the pain of childbirth. She cries out the name of her departed son. She's crying, "Jesus, Jesus, Jesus, my boy." She thinks to herself, tomorrow I'm going to go with the other women. I'm going to go and anoint your body. You're my son. Tomorrow's going to be Sunday. It'll be lawful to anoint the body then. But today's the Sabbath and I can't do that. It's Saturday and it's finished. Meanwhile, we've got Barabbas. Couldn't care less. Spending his first night of freedom following several years of captivity, he touches himself all over like a man who thinks, I'm dreaming. I must be the luckiest bloke alive, he mutters to himself. You know, these fools who crucified an innocent guy, an innocent bloke. But who cares? I don't care. I'm still breathing. Barabbas gets up and he stumbles down the alleyway. He couldn't care less that it's a Sabbath, the Jewish Sabbath. He stopped long ago obeying the Levitical laws. You know, these puny ordinances have been ineffective ever since, against these Roman dogs. All he knows is that the Romans have invaded his beloved Palestine and they've got to be killed. He's killed once, he's got to kill again. If an innocent man had to die yesterday, so be it. This is my calling. I need to liberate my country. And Barabbas is thinking it's Saturday and it's all over, especially for that guy in the tomb. In a beautiful home a short distance outside of Jerusalem, in Bethany, there's three people just sat there. These three people are just thinking. There's a man and two women. The man's reflects of the irony of it all. His name is Lazarus. He's well, he's whole. Jesus raised him from the dead just a few weeks ago. But now the irony is that Jesus is now in the grave. And Lazarus is having Saturday morning breakfast. Martha, his sister, sits there still. She's normally a hive of activity. She was running around. She's not cooking. She's not cleaning. She's not running around. She's thinking to herself, I will never fix Jesus another meal. I will never wash his robe. I will never be able to give him a cool glass of water when he comes in. I will never ask him to tell my sister to help me in the kitchen. And Martha's younger sister Mary sobs quietly. For some strange reason, the feature that comes back to her are his feet. The last time that she saw his feet, just yesterday afternoon, they had been grotesquely disfigured. Huge nails had been driven through them. They didn't look like the feet she had anointed a few days before. They weren't his feet. This trio, Lazarus, Martha and Mary, all captivated by their own thoughts, all thinking the same thing. It's Saturday and it's finished. Is it really finished? Peter, Caiaphas, Pilate, Pilate's wife, Judas, Mary, the mother of Jesus, Barabbas, Lazarus, Martha and little sister Mary. All to a man, all to a woman, think so. What do you think today? We all live far beyond Saturday. We know that Jesus will rise again. He will rise from death. The early text that read on Saturday says, and they rested on the Sabbath according to the commandment. Can't we leave Saturday alone? We've got Friday and Sunday. That's enough, isn't it? We've got Good Friday and then we've got Resurrection Sunday. And I think we really have to make a big deal out of Saturday. Because really, at the end of the day, we're all Saturday people. The Son of God is dead. But life goes on as usual. Nothing's changed. Nothing is changed. It's Saturday, but is it really finished? That question isn't laden with doubt. We ask if, it's Saturday. But you know what? Sunday's coming. Sunday is coming. It's not finished. Jesus' death has taken our place. When he said those 3 words on Friday afternoon, it wasn't a phrase like closing a curtain at the end of a play or at a movie. The only thing finished on Saturday is sin, death, hell, and the grave. I want to go back to these characters here. Pilate, he's got to end his days washing his hands in a lake, nestled in the Swiss Alps. He was banished from Rome. Caiaphas will be dissembled and placed in a bone box, which will eventually be displayed in a museum a few miles from where Jesus was crucified. Judas, he's going to become a euphemism for villainy and treacheries, even in the dictionary. Judas. But the remaining people, they all had Saturday faith. Instead of looking dejectedly back on Good Friday, they were looking forward. They were looking forward with great hope for Sunday. You see, we are Sunday people as Christians. We are Sunday people because Jesus has risen. Saturday for me is just it's a normal day. It's a normal day when I visit people or do some yard work or do whatever. I really want to leap over Saturday and get to Easter quick smart. I want to be at that party. I want to be at that resurrection party. It's so exciting. Saturday, it's over. It's finished. It's Sunday, what we're looking for. I want to tell you that, when you get up on Sunday morning, I want you to get out of bed and say, hallelujah, praise God, it's not over. Jesus has risen from the grave. Jesus is coming back soon. Hell can't keep him any longer. Heaven will not keep him concealed forever. Hey, bless you. Thank you all for the series. This sermon was inspired by something I read from Max Lucado, and there was an African-American guy who wrote a sermon, and it was called It's Friday, but it's Sunday coming. So thank you for persevering. I'm going to give a B&R Deception Bay live YouTube and be there on Facebook, and we'll conclude on Sunday. Bless you. Talk to you later. Bye.